Hi there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Big Mo Gal YouTube channel where we read Reddit stories and we definitely judge. We sure do. Alright, so let us get into these unhinged Reddit stories. So this first story is from the Am I the A-hole subreddit. Am I the a-hole for telling our parents my brother had a child outside of his marriage? For years, my brother has been trying to go into business with my husband. It hasn't worked out for various reasons, but he finally had an idea that my husband thought would be successful. The thing is, before my husband goes into business with anyone, he does an extensive background check on them. I'm not sure if he made my brother aware he was going to do a check or not, but it's how he found out that my brother has a daughter outside of his marriage. I had no idea this child existed, and my husband warned me I shouldn't say anything, but I couldn't just not tell my parents, so I told them a few days ago. They were as shocked as me, as they also had no idea she existed, and they immediately confronted my brother about it. Turns out his wife is fully aware, but said she would leave if he tried to include his daughter in the family, which is why neither one of them told any of us about her. My parents wanted to meet her and include her in our family, but my sister-in-law is threatening to leave if that happens, so my brother won't give them her mother's contact information. They want my husband to find out for them, but he's refusing to get involved, so everything's a issue right now. I personally want to meet my niece, so I've told my husband if he doesn't give me the information, I'll ask the friend he uses for background checks myself, which has caused multiple fights between us. My brother hates me right now and is blaming me for his potential divorce, but I don't think it's fair as I didn't know my parents would immediately confront him. I did ask them not to. Am I the a-hole? Yes. I think everybody in this story except the child that was conceived is the a-hole. Your husband is the a-hole for running a background check and probably not telling him. Okay? Because I'm guessing your husband didn't think he was going to find this out. More financial stuff because they're going into business. Which makes sense, but just to notify the guy, hey, I'm going to do a background check. All right? Your husband told you not to tell anybody, okay? You ran and told your parents. No, my thing is, why not confront your brother first? Why run to your parents? Like, I don't know. It feels, you're saying that, oh, you want to know your niece and your parents need to know. But I would think as a sister, you would ask your brother first. Like, bro, why are you trying to keep your kid away from us? Like, what happened? So on and so forth. And let him explain himself, right? So I think you're the a-hole there. Now, the parents, a-holes as well. But I think I can understand, too, like, oh my gosh, you have a whole other kid and you didn't tell us about it. So I can understand them jumping and asking him about it. But, and then the wife. Like, I think she should have just left to begin with. Like, I mean, this is me trying to tell this lady how to run her life. But she should have just left. Because how are you going to have him have a child and then just like alienate her? She's not a part of the family. I mean, it didn't say he can't see the child, but I guess he can't bring her around. I don't know how much time he spends with the child. Clearly, I think he's paying child support, which is how the brother-in-law would have found out about the kid. But wow, like, y'all are terrible people. Like, this poor child did not ask to be here. She was, consequences of selfish people's actions. But to ban her from the family and say, oh, I'm going to leave if the child is now a part of the family, that is so mean on so many levels. And I can't believe the husband agreed to it. He's terrible. Now, the brother-in-law should not go into business with him. So there's that. Because, again, when it comes to child support and all the other things, then that's the whole situation in itself. And then, I don't know. It's just so much. I want y'all to sound off below. Like, what do y'all think? Like, I believe everybody's the a-hole in this situation except that poor child. Like, she's just growing up basically without knowing her dad's side of the family and all this stuff because the stepmom decides, like, I'm going to leave if you do not, if you bring this child into this family. And then the man agreed to it. Like, I know you messed up and cheated and got a kid out of all of this, but then you're just going to put this kid through alienation. Just leave the wife and just let her go. Because it don't make no sense. Poor kid. That's all I got to say. Sound off below what y'all think. But let's read a few comments, okay? It says, you are the a-hole. You're old enough to be married, and when you found out about your brother's child, you ran to your parents. The only one you should have gone to, unless you didn't want to go to anyone, would be your brother. Same thing I was saying. Who is also an adult. My husband warned me I shouldn't say anything, but I couldn't just not tell my parents, so I told them. So you can't say you weren't warned. Yep. That's crazy. That's just a crazy story. Let me know what y'all think, okay? Let me know. Alright, so this next story is from the subreddit R Stories. It says, I think my wife's best friend is developing feelings for me, and my wife doesn't want to believe me because it's her best friend. Okay. Okay, yes, I'm aware I'm going to sound arrogant and like a narcissist. Get over it. My wife and I have known each other for a total 20-ish years. We have dated for 9, married for 5. She has also known her best friend D since end of high school, early college. They are like sisters. D has horrible luck with guys, abusive relationship, toxic relationship. She's had it all and some. I know this because she vents about it to my wife and tells me all the time. Recently, she just got through a particularly rough relationship, which she decided she was no longer going to date and just be single for a while. She began making comments to my wife about how lucky she is that she has me, and it must make her feel so good to have a supporting, caring, loving man in her life to take care of her. This is when her changed behavior began. She has been very clingy to me. She never was before. When she comes over, head on my shoulder, sits on my lap. She tells me all the time that I make her feel safe and comfortable. She always asks how my day is going and if I'm happy to see her, or how I think her body looks in the outfit, which she kind of did before, but now she draws attention to her feminine areas. A joke was made by my wife about Dee being my second wife to do all the stuff my wife doesn't feel like doing. Dee jumped onto this and now refers too often enough as second wife. My wife thinks it's funny, and it was it was until Dee sent me a picture of a ring she wanted. Because even your second wife needs a ring. I will reserve my judgment. I have brought all this up to my wife because I don't want to keep her in the dark about anything, and she just says things like, that's just her, or she doesn't mean anything by it. My fear is that Dee is getting what she's never gotten from any of her past relationships: comfort, validation, safety, and that she will become attached to this sort of fantasy. I don't want my wife to think doing anything behind her back, but as I have stated, she brushes it all off. Am I just being too observant, or is there something there my wife isn't seeing? Thoughts? Sir, I think they're setting you up. I'm sorry. I think this is a setup. I could be wrong. Because there's no wife that is going to be that nonchalant. Because, listen, you need to be chalant when it comes to these things, right? There's no wife that's going to be that nonchalant of head on shoulder, her sitting in your lap, and then just brushing it off as nothing. It's a setup. Your wife is setting you up. Sir, run. The next time she tries to come and sit on your lap, push her so hard she drop to the floor. Just with all of your might. All right? And see what the wife says. I believe it is a setup. I am happy that you're telling your wife not to keep her in the dark, but her reaction is just telling me that she's in on it. Yep. That is what I am thinking. Because there's no way that someone is doing all that, coming on to your husband, sending you pictures of a ring, saying that the second wife should have a ring, saying how she looks in an outfit and showing her body and stuff, and the wife is just nonchalant about it. No, sir. Nope. Set up. Let us see what the comment says. If she can sit on your lap when your wife is there, your wife doesn't care, then just calm down and breathe a little. I don't agree, but whatever. Sounds like you might be propositioned to be in a poly relationship soon. Wouldn't be the worst thing. Just make sure you're not pushing it, and when Dee does stuff, make jokes about it to your wife, such as such that she knows it's happening, but that you're not being a glass half full kind of guy. I don't think I agree with that, but someone else said sister wife incoming. They're trying to to warm you up to the idea. Maybe that might be something. Someone else said you have hit the lottery. You can tell that that is a man. Lots of different advice here. If you want to get to the bottom of it, here's what I would do. Honey, I think D is getting really close, and if she wants to be my second wife, shouldn't that come with benefits? Say it jokingly and read your wife's reaction. It sounds like your wife might be interested, but you will never know unless you ask. There are successful troubles out there, and think of how clean the house will be. I don't know if I agree with any of those, but go off, I guess. Alright, so this next story is from the subreddit Two Hot Takes. I found out why my partner of 5 years hasn't proposed to me yet. They need advice, alright? My partner, 30 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for 5 years. We have lived together for 4. We are very much in love. We have a home and pets together, and I have no complaints about our relationship. I really am happy with him, and we have great chemistry. We have talked about engagement/marriage before. Personally, I'm not too set on marriage right now, but I do like the idea of at least getting engaged and having a ring. Whenever I would bring the topic up, he would get really avoidant and make a joke or try to change the subject. It was confusing to me considering we have had this talk before and he wants to be with me forever. But I finally found out why. He told me that he wants to have kids and wants to ensure that the person he marries also wants kids. I do not want kids. We have multiple discussions about it afterwards, but never actually came to any sort of agreement. He basically thinks I'm going to change my mind in the future since I'm still young. And I don't say anything is impossible. But I'm pretty sure I won't change my mind. I know what goes into motherhood and to raise a child, and I honestly just don't think it's for me. Also, I have a career that having a kid would really hinder. Since we never came to any conclusion, I'm pretty sure he's just willing to wait and spend as much time as he can with me until he's ready to start a family and see if I've changed my mind or not. And that's when we'll make an actual decision. I think that's a bad idea, but okay. But I can't help but have the mental block knowing eventually this is probably going to end. And as much as I don't want it to, this just isn't something either of us should have to sacrifice. I totally respect him for wanting to be a father, and I would never want him to give that up to be with me, which he has kind of hinted at before. So I'm really torn. I don't know what to do. It would of course break my heart to break up at any point, but is this something we need to decide now? Yes. Or should we wait it out? Has anyone else been in this position? Also, I want to mention that he's very set on not breaking up anytime soon. I also don't want to break up, of course, but I agree with some of you saying that it's not fair to either of us. I would prefer if he made that decision and not me, but I know he won't, so it's a hard position for me considering how deeply involved we are. Alright, so I'm going to give my little 2 cents, okay? When it comes to a child and you are steadfast on not wanting kids and he wants kids, 5 years in already, I think y'all should break up. Have the discussion that you will never ever change your mind, and make sure that you literally will not change your mind, okay? Not just saying that no, but make sure you will not change your mind, because it sounds like both of you are in love and you'd be great for each other, except for the child thing, which is a big thing, right? But if you are set that you don't want kids and he wants kids, break up. Go on and cut it off right there. Draw the line. I know it's going to be complicated because now you guys live together and all the things, and it's not like there's a heartbreak or anything, but waiting until it's time that he wants to have kids just to break up then, because it's going to be inevitable, right? Because that's the deal breaker. You don't want kids, he wants kids. So when it's time for him to say, hey, I want kids, and you're like, no, the relationship is going to end. So end it no, okay? Or just let him know, listen, there's no kids, and you need to be good with that, okay? So if you want us to stay together, just know we're not going to have the babies, and that's that. But I don't see the sense in prolonging something that's inevitable. Whenever the decision comes, all right, this is time. He's 30. I don't know how much longer he will wait to want to have kids. And you don't want to have kids when you're like Abraham and Sarah age. You don't want kids them time there. All right, you need energy and stamina to run behind these kids and play with them. So just cut this off now. All right, that is my 2 cents. My little 2 cents. Let's just see what Reddit has to say. Time to end it. You want fundamentally different lives. Stop wasting each other's time. It will be painful, but best for both of you. Don't have a child for someone else, and don't be the reason someone else doesn't have a child. Clock it. Sums it up right there. I don't even think we need any more comments, but let me read another one. This is hard to swallow, but the answer is, I'm sure you've both created a space filled with love and have grown together over the past 5 years, but everything has an expiry date. Some sooner than others. You both deserve to have the things you want, and that's looking to be two separate paths. It's compatible even though your feelings for each other say otherwise. You don't need us to convince you if this has been weighing on your mind for a while. It's just stalling until the inevitable. So yeah, girl, you're 25. Get a man that doesn't want kids, but then again, he might also change his mind. But girl, it's a lot. But do not settle for that. It's just going to be inevitable when y'all break up. All right. Okay, so this next story comes from the Am I the A-hole subreddit. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend I don't want him to be the birth partner for his pregnant female friend? Okay, all right. Let's see how this one goes. I, 23 female, have been with my boyfriend, 25 male, for about a year and a half. We live together and things have been pretty good. One thing I can tell y'all, wanna move quick. Y'all moving very quickly. I'm just saying, y'all over here giving wife treatment to boyfriends, but let's not judge, all right? Let's not judge. Marriage is not for everybody. He's really loyal and protective of the people he cares about, especially family. That's part of why this situation feels so complicated. He has a close friend, 25 female, who he's known for years. They never dated, but she used to be involved with his younger brother. Their friendship predates her going out with his brother. Now she's also friends with the brother she used to date, but nowhere near as close as she is to my boyfriend. I've never really suspected anything going on between them, but I can admit it took me a little while to get used to dating a guy who had a really close female friend. I've just never experienced that before. They talk all the time and I'll hear her voice randomly and she's listening to her audio messages he sent her. Okay. She's always having problems with guys and relies on him to coach her through it or pull her off the ledge. He has guy friends too, and she hangs out with the whole group. She's one of those girls, if you know what I mean. She's also good friends with his female cousin, so she's pretty woven into their family circle. She got pregnant by a boyfriend she hadn't been with for too long. At first, he talked a big game and seemed supportive, but when she was around 4 months pregnant, he said he wasn't ready to be a dad and basically vanished. A few weeks ago, she asked my boyfriend to be her birth partner. Be in the delivery room, coach her through labor, cut the cord, the whole thing. He said yes without even telling me beforehand. When he told me, I was kind of astonished. Childbirth is super intimate, and it felt wrong that he'd take on that role for another woman. He said I was being insecure and selfish, that she doesn't have anyone else she trusts. Okay. I reminded him she dated his brother and is also close with his cousin, and she has to have female friends or family, right? Why him? I can't imagine asking a male friend of all people. He said I was being territorial and that I wouldn't understand unless I was in her shoes. I asked if he'd be okay with me doing that for a male friend's child, if that were a thing, and he said that's not fair because it could have never happened. Honestly, this has been messing with me way more than I thought. I keep replaying conversations in my head, wondering if I'm just paranoid, wondering if I misjudge, and that everything between them isn't as innocent as I thought. I also don't want to be the nagging, controlling girlfriend. I feel like he was forced to choose. No, sorry. I feel like if he was forced to choose, he'd pick her and their friendship over me. It's hard to sleep or relax. I want to support him, but it feels like I'm losing him to her somehow, and that hurts. Now she's cold towards me, and he's upset I'm not being more supportive. I do feel bad for her. She made the decision to keep the baby with this guy who said he would be there. She couldn't know that he'd just up and leave. I told him I'm not forbidding him, but I'm being honest about how uncomfortable this makes me feel. All right. Here's my little judgment, okay? Because at this big age that I am right now, you know, I'm being a little geriatric millennial, if you will. You're 23 years old, okay? You've been in this relationship for a year and a half. Girl, run. Just go. I know it's easier said than done, right? But being there in the delivery room and cutting the cord, you said it's intimate. It's a very intimate thing, right? Now, when the baby is born, is he going to be Uncle Daddy? Or what's his role? Because it's just not going to stop there. It's not going to stop at just being in the delivery room. It's going to be, she's now a single mom. Seems like she doesn't care what anybody else says or does. He's going to be daddy. He's going to be playing the daddy role. And he's not going to tell her no. Okay? So leave, girl. Just go. That's going to be him and his baby and her. She's trying to get this man. No, she dated the brother. That doesn't seem to faze him. So I don't know. It's a bit messy. But I think you should leave. It's rough. I don't know what your financial situation is to just up and leave because you say y'all live together. I'm just saying it will not stop there. It will not end there. It's just not like in the delivery room, this girl whole hoo-ha and business is going to be out there. She's going to probably be holding his hand, looking in his eyes while she push. He'll probably be holding a leg or two. We don't know. That is going to be a whole bonding experience for both of them. It's just not like he's thinking, okay, I'm just going to be there for labor. It's just not that simple. Having been someone that has been through labor, it is not that simple. It is a very intimate moment. You might cry, you might hug, you might. It is every emotions and all the things. He probably holds the baby for the first time and bond with the baby. Then what? He's no Uncle Daddy. Like, it makes no sense, girl. If he decides to go through with it, leave. Just pack your things. I hope you have somewhere to go because, yeah, that is my 2 cents. So let us see what Reddit has to say. It says, you're young and it's only been a year and a half. Same thing I said. Walk away from this one. Not necessarily because it's of this friend, but because the way he's responding to your very valid concerns. Good point. This is a very odd situation, yet he's got you questioning your own thoughts and feelings. Speaking from the perspective of someone in their 40s, looking back on my dating life, this is the kind of situation I wish I had sense not to invest time and effort in. Good one, good one. This is my feelings on the matter too. The situation is nuanced and I can understand it from every angle. What I'm struggling with is him practically admitting he wouldn't be okay with it were he in OP's shoes, but still dismissing her feelings on the subject. Way too much stress and drama for such a fresh relationship between young people. And it's definitely going to continue after the birth, so why not just cut your losses before you're in too deep? Agreed. I agree. Girl, run. Run, I tell you. Alright, next story. Also from Am I the A-hole subreddit. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my girlfriend when she said she wanted to keep things casual 8 months ago and now wants to move in with her kids? I, 34 male, have been seeing this woman, 41 female, for the past 8 months or so now. She was just getting out of a messy divorce and wanted something casual and fun. I told her I wasn't looking for anything serious either and made clear I never wanted kids because I knew she had 2 daughters in high school. We've had effortless chemistry, but we've never gotten more serious over time in our relationship. A few days ago, she brought up the idea of her and her kids moving into my place. I figured because I live on the beach, she just wanted an upgraded lifestyle. But then she brought up how the town I lived in has much better public school system than the one she's living in now. She's super sweet and I've met her daughters and they seem very nice. But I'm like, what the F? How do we go from a casual relationship to moving in and me becoming a stepdad overnight? I don't see a path that involves me saying how I felt and her just accepting things how they are. I feel like if a woman wants to move in with you, you're beyond the casual stage. She's even joked a couple times recently about how she knows she can't give me anything I don't already have, but she can always give me a cute baby. Shake my head. Like I said, she's really nice, but this is just way too much all at once. Alright, it's my 2 cents. Y'all need to have a serious conversation. Y'all are grown people. You are, what you said, 34. She's 41. Miss Moms knows what she's doing. Alright? Sit her down and explain. Listen, you said this was casual. How we move from casual to you moving in? No. Put your feet down, okay? Draw the line on the boundaries. Be like, hey, I have no intention of being a stepdad. I had no intention of sharing my space. This was never discussed. You cannot just bring this up on me like that, right? Y'all people don't talk. Y'all just be doing the do and no conversations. Not nothing. Just out here doing the do. The things that y'all supposed to be discussing, y'all are not discussing. Right? And how comfortable she feels to just be like, oh, you got better school systems over there. We should just move in. Like, yeah. No. 8 months in and she's like, I just want to move in. After you said she was out of a messy divorce, she did not learn. Miss Moms don't learn. Messy divorce, mom, you should be taking your time. 8 months in, you want to move in with the man. And then you really don't know this man and you want to move in your high school girls. You want to move in your teenage girl into a house where a man is that you don't even know. The father of the kids probably don't know, but you're like, oh, it's a better school district, let me move in. People, especially moms with girls, you need to take heed and be more careful. 8 months is not enough time for know nobody. You got 2 teenage girls that you need to protect. All right, that's all I am saying on that. Okay, so no, tell her no, sir. The kids seem nice and all the things, but no, she cannot move in. Just have the conversation and cut it off right there. Let's see what Reddit says. Time to have a serious conversation. You two are clearly not on the same page regarding the relationship. Agreed. Dragging it out just builds resentment. Clear talk now saves everyone from bigger mess later. Next person says, she's clearly not coping well with her divorce and perhaps using OP as an emotional rock to stand on. Ooh, good one. A discussion about what kind of relationship they'll have moving forward needs to happen. If OP is uncomfortable with the speed or decisions, then a step back is needed. Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly because what? Ma'am, just wanted to move in your... I don't know. Maybe I watch too much news and too much SUV, Law and Order SUV. Maybe I watch too much of these things, but no. Alright, final story. This one also comes from the Am I the A-hole subreddit. This one says, would I be the a-hole for remarrying my ex even though I'm going to die? Oh, ooh, this one heavy. Bear with me, okay? I know this post is morbid and dark, so I apologize for that. Don't apologize, babes. I, 36 female, am close to dying. Ooh, that hits hard. I have terminal cancer and I only have about a year or 2 left. I've accepted and made my peace with it, and I don't mind openly talking about it. I also have a less than common relationship. My current partner, boyfriend, 38 male, is also my ex-husband. Me and him married right out of high school, stayed together through college, had 3 kids together, 12 male, 11 female, and 4 months. Aww. We divorced when our daughter was 3 because of his intense work schedule. It was a lot of heartbreak and pain, but at the time it felt right for both of us despite that. 2 2 years after the divorce, I was first diagnosed with cancer, and he reduced his work hours so he could take more time with the kids. And it slowly shifted to him also taking care of me. And we rekindled our romance but didn't get remarried. I got lucky the first time around and was declared cancer-free at 31. I had my youngest child at 32 and was re-diagnosed at 34. We tried treatments, but it's been recently declared terminal. Please don't feel sorry for me or throw me a pity party. I've gotten to live the life I wanted, and I'm okay with the fact that I'll most likely die before 40. That is so sad. The only thing that causes me any emotional pain is that I won't see my kids grow up and experience life milestones like graduating, getting married, and having kids. Long backstory, but here's the problem. My partner and I have discussed it, and we want to remarry each other. I want him to be listed as my husband in my obituary. I want him to be able to make medical decisions in case I'm unable to. This one is big for me because of my situation, and so that he can get survivor benefits when I pass. My sister, 38 female, says that it's cruel to remarry him knowing I'm going to die soon, and that if I loved him, I wouldn't have divorced him in the first place, and that by remarrying him, I'm disrespecting the sanctity of marriage by doing it willy-nilly. She also said I probably used my diagnosis the first time around to get his pity, love, so he'd get back with me since it resolved the main issue from our divorce. So Reddit, I was wondering if it's really bad for me to remarry my ex. I love this man. We both regretted our divorce and are so grateful that life brought us back together. But now I'm close to death. We want our love to be legally recognized. Your sister is a piece of crap. I don't like your sister. Okay? No. Did your sister want your life? Does your sister want your husband after? Did she plan on your demise? I don't get it. Okay? Because as your sister, and you are dying, actively dying, right? I don't know. There's so much anger running through me now because having a sister who is not going to be here in a year or so, and she wants her ex to be her husband. They're already living the life. Why is it cruel to remarry him? Like, I don't get it. It's not like she's forcing the man or he's not agreeing. This is mutual agreement. To remarry, the man has to say, I do. She says, I do. I don't get it. I don't understand how it's cruel. Okay? He knows what he's getting into. Okay? And then there are benefits and different things. She wants him to be listed as her husband. And just... I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting really upset as this sister because I don't get it. She hates you? Does she want your life? Is she plotting on your husband when you die? I don't get it. Why would she not want you to remarry your husband? Why? That does not... Ooh, okay. Does your sister stand to gain benefits if you die? Because that's the only other thing I'm thinking, right? If you marry, then everything goes to the husband, right? But if you don't, does the sister gain anything? Because that is the only other thing I would be thinking about. Why it is that the sister would not want you to marry. Because none of the reasons she's giving makes any sense, okay? Now, could you guys have worked it out where he would reduce his hours before getting the divorce? Sure. But you know what? Hindsight is 20/20. And it brought y'all back together, right? This man is there taking care of you. I think naturally he should get benefits and all the things. And yes, like, it makes no sense to me at all. Like, I don't get it. Let me leave it alone. Let's see what Reddit has to say. If your ex is all in on it, what business is it to your sister to get involved? Same thing I'm asking. Someone says, if this is real, they're questioning if it's real or not. Part of me wants more info. Surely the sister knows anything she leaves will be for OP's kids. And regardless of marriage status, the dad will still hold precedence re their kids. Some people are weird about wills and maybe are expecting some sort of inheritance or ability to consent. would want have been named the executors of the estate until her kids are 18 instead of the husband. Maybe they're salty the husband would inherit anything. Does Opie own their house? This is a stretch, but her sanctity of marriage excuse sounds sus. Agreed. Even if even if believable in this climate of religion, misreading, perversions, edit. You got to the bit about pity love. The sister doesn't like OP. She wants to be executor of her estate in place of her kids. That's what I said. Like, cause it makes no sense. Like, she hates her sister. Your sister is dying, and all she wants to do is remarry the love of her life. The man has been taking care of her in this cancer stage, making sure that their kids are good, all the things, and all she wants to do is just go down at the courthouse, sign a piece of paper, say hi, do again, and that's that. She wants inheritance. She need money or something. Yep, that is all that is. That is all I'm getting from it. The sister is a thief. Yeah. Alright, so that is the end of today's video. Sound off below. Tell me what you're thinking, because some of these are very unhinged. That last one was a little bit heavy, but you know, alright, so subscribe if you have not, and yeah, get this channel up to 100 subscribers. Just 100, alright? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.